Hey guys, it's Bobby here. I just wanted to make another video to show one of my newest vacuum cleaners. And you'll have to excuse the sound quality and the picture quality. I bought a cheap camera for $39 because I always drop them, so I just bought a cheap one to get me by. And so it's not a very good camera, so I kind of sound like I have a lisp. People might think I'm a homosexual, oh no. But anyway, so yeah, I have a cheap camera, and so it works okay for a cheap one. It's easier than using a cell phone, but it's not a nice camera by any means. So the quality will be suffering. I'm going to try to enunciate and to move the camera slowly so you don't get any weird effects to minimize the bad quality of this thing. But anyway, so this is my Kenmore Direct Drive, Panasonic made, and I've had it for a few weeks. I got it at a Catholic thrift store for $20, and it's a very nice machine. I do like it. I actually used to sell vacuums at Sears back in 2002, and I sold the purple predecessor to this one, and that was a better vacuum, I think. Just because it looked better, I think. This one actually looks more boring. The other one was kind of cool looking. This one's more straight-lined and just not as fun. And I like the purple color better as well. The other thing I liked better was that it had 4 rows of bristles on the bottom. So the new one, the modern ones, they got cheap and they actually removed 2 of the rows of bristles. So you still get your nice thick bristles, and they're really, really good bristles. And it's a direct drive, so the motor is inside that brush roll, so it's not something that takes a belt. But if you have an older version of this, you'll notice that where this ridge is right here, there used to actually be another row of bristles, and now it's just, I guess it kind of acts like a beater bar. I guess they would probably say that in the advertisement, but really they just got cheap and didn't put bristles there, because they only put 2 bristles, 2 rows, which it still cleans great, so that's a good thing, but, I feel like I'm being gypped, because I only have 2 rows of bristles, and the old model had more. I hate it when they take features away. I like it when they add features, but not to remove them. That's terrible. So, I'm going to pick it back up. Everything about this vacuum screams Panasonic, from the shape of the handle to the back wheels. Everything about it just screams Panasonic. The hoses, the hose fittings, everything about it. One thing that I do like is the dirt sensor. It's actually got a multi-stage dirt sensor. The old model, the purple one, actually only had red and green lights, so it was just, a one-stage dirt sensor. This one has like 4 different lights, and that actually didn't work when I bought it, but I had to take it apart and clean it out, and then it started working great. After I dusted off the lens, it couldn't see, so that's why I had a problem. But there's also an IntelliClean feature, and the IntelliClean feature will actually turn the power of the vacuum up or down depending on how much dirt the sensor is seeing come into the vacuum, so that's kind of cool. I also have an LG-made Kenmore Iridium canister that's in the car right now that actually has the same turbo tool, but it also has the IntelliClean feature as well, so I think that's kind of funny that LG and Panasonic both made Kenmores with that feature. But the performance indicator is just a pressure sensor to tell you when the bag is full, in case you're not intelligent enough to figure that out. But it works. So there's the digital control panel, there's off, carpet, gentle, and bare floor mode, and tool suction, which low, medium, high, and then there's IntelliClean. So this actually has a gentle sweep feature, just like the Hoover Z over there, which I'm going to make a video of as well. And what it does is it reduces the suction and the brush roll speed to be slower for delicate surfaces. So that's kind of cool. And then you press that same button again to turn the brush roll off for bare floors. So it's nice to have that option. Mine did come with the turbo tool, as you can see. This vacuum, though, is not powerful enough to run it without stalling. Actually, the only vacuum I have that runs its turbo tool without stalling is the Hoover wind tunnel. My Dyson didn't come with a turbo tool, but I bet it would too. But it's not a bad turbo tool, but it's just not very powerful suction to me. I mean, it's super powerful suction, but not enough to make the turbo tool run. When I touch it to a surface, it actually does slow down and almost stop. So it is missing something, though. It's actually missing the upholstery tool combo brush, and it takes a mini upholstery tool combo brush, so it's not the full-size standard one. So I haven't found a replacement yet online, but I'm going to be looking. The carry handle's right there, and that's really handy because it does balance it nicely. It's relatively comfortable. But they did move the HEPA filter to the back, and that's a good thing, because I know in the old model it was in the front, and that actually made the dirt blow out of the way before the vacuum got up to it. So one thing I do wish that this had, that the previous Panasonics and Kenmore's had, is a clean-out port here. You could also attach an extra hose to that hole before, and this doesn't have that. To get that hose off, you actually have to unscrew those 3 screws, so that can be kind of a mess. But the other thing I wish it had is a quick draw wand. For anyone who doesn't know, a quick draw wand would be something like this. Let's see. You would actually have an extension wand that came up out of here, and then the hose would actually go into a clip like that, and then it would look like that. So it would be kind of like a makeshift. That's my makeshift version of a quick draw wand. It doesn't look good on that machine because it wasn't made for that, but that's a really handy thing that a lot of Panasonics have, usually bottom-end ones, though. But they usually have that because then you can just pick it up while you're vacuuming and grab a quick cobweb or, snatch something up from the corner of the baseboard or the ceiling, and then just stick it right back in and continue cleaning. But they just didn't do that with this one. So that's no fun. But the other thing that the old model had that this one didn't was when you plug the hose into the bottom, the hose actually didn't plug in there where it does now. It actually plugged in down right about there. It actually plugged in right about there, and there was a sensor down there that when you pulled the hose out, it would turn the brush roll off, even if the handle was not in the upright position. And that was just a nice feature they had on that one. But you know what? This one does turn the brush roll off when it's not in the upright position. It turns it off anyway, so it's not a big deal, really, because usually you're not going to vacuum with the handle reclined, so that's fine. One thing I don't like about it, 2 things, actually. First is the height adjustment is a primitive slider. It's not electronic, it's not a pedal, it's just something you have to bend over and slide, like from the 80s, like a cheap vacuum. This was a high-end vacuum, so it should not have that. It should have a better way. If it could be digital or electronic or anything, would be just better than that old slider. I just don't like that. But the other thing is that the light is here, and I don't like the light there because, and lots of vacuums do that. I can probably look around and point to several modern vacuums that do that. But the light is there, and so it shines on the vacuum cleaner nozzle itself, which, you can see the dust on the vacuum nozzle, great. Really, really highlights that. So I guess if that's what you care about, that's fine, but I actually want to see the dirt on the floor when I'm vacuuming. So I'd rather the light be in the front where it belongs, like it is on the Hoover Z and a few others. That way it doesn't cast a shadow of the vacuum onto the floor. It just shines on the floor and lights the floor. But they didn't do that. Down here we have the reset button. So you can actually press that. If you run over something, it'll pop up, and then you can reset it. It shuts off the brush roll, so you don't damage the motor inside, because the motor is actually inside the brush roll. There's no belt on this thing. That's why it says Direct Drive beltless system on it. So the other thing they did is they actually made the back door hinged. So you just grab this handle here. It opens like a refrigerator door. And you just pull it off. And that's something new. The old one, you actually pulled the whole vacuum thing, the whole door off, and you had to just put it back on carefully. It was hard to get on right sometimes, but I think it looked better. But this is the bag chamber, and if you'll notice, something very unique about this one, they actually have vents all the way up the bag chamber, and so that's called OptiFlow technology, I believe, and what it does, it actually lets the suction, it keeps the suction at a higher level for longer, so as the bag fills, it doesn't reduce the power as quickly as a machine that only had a little hole at the bottom, which this one also has for the pre-motor filter, which just kind of, that cover just flips up too. It's also hinged, so that's kind of nice. But it's that, and then I'm just going to pop the bag back in. I actually got 4 bags with it, and I've ordered more on eBay, so they should be coming. But these were old bags, 50688. That's what we sold at Sears. Now they're called U bags, but it actually says replaces 50688 right on there. Same thing. But I got that in. I've taken it out and looked in it and had it off and on so many times that it's not going to fit very well anymore. It does have a seal around the door, by the way, so you can actually see that rubber gasket there. So snap it back shut, and I'm going to go ahead and just run it for you on all the speeds and see if it'll pick up any of this little paper shred mess. I know it will. It does sound different than a normal vacuum, and I think the reason for that is just because it has that technology inside the bag chamber with all the extra vents. I actually thought that the bleeder valve was opening and that something was wrong with it. But then I activated the bleeder valve by putting my hand over the hose, and it sounds different. So I knew that it wasn't activating. It's just the way that the air goes through with those extra holes that makes it sound so different. It actually sounds really loud in the video, and it's not that loud in person. It actually sounds pretty solid in person. But let's see if I can find anything else that I don't like. Oh, one more thing I don't like is that this has the cheap, really cheap hose right there. Really cheap. The old model just used the regular hose and just stuck it down there, and so it didn't really matter. But this one, very thin, not very flexible. The other thing is that this thing had the twisting locks on it, I believe. Yeah, they're busted off. Maybe this one was made without them, but they always break off on these things. So, because you can see right there where it has the little guide for those to go into, so your extension mod doesn't fall off. Now it's kind of just friction fit, which is fine. I don't use it anyway, because I don't have the attachments for it yet. But the other feature they added to it, which is kind of cool, it wasn't on the old one, but it was this hose clip right here. And what that is, it'll actually, you can twist it and you can get more hose out, but if you put it back, it'll actually anchor the hose at the bottom so that when you pull it, it will follow you instead of fall over. So that's kind of nice. But that's it. I'm going to go ahead and just start the cleaning demo now, and we'll see how it does. This is the gentle setting, so this actually has the brush roll go really slow. It's still spinning, it's just going really slow. So if you have a gentle rug, like an oriental rug or something delicate, you can still clean it. Okay, and so what I just did, I just tripped the reset thing so that it turned off the brush roll as a safety feature, so the motor didn't get damaged. So I'm going to just pull out the obstruction. Okay, so I got that out. And as you can see, the button is now sticking up. It's now sticking up. So what I can do is just press it, okay, and then the brush roll should start back up. Actually, you know what? While I have you here, I want to show the IntelliClean feature too. So I'm going to go ahead and put some more dirt down and just show that. I'm going to just sprinkle that, and then you can actually see how that works in conjunction, of course, with the dirt sensor. So I'm going to press this yellow button now. another thing you'll notice is that if I turn the vacuum on high section, the headlight is really dim, but if I turn it down to low, the headlight actually gets brighter. So I find that fascinating. And then the last thing I wanted to do, I want to show you how long the hose is, because it's pretty darn long, actually. And, let's see. Okay, so the vacuum's way over there on the other side of the recliner, and I've got this hose here. So you can see how far that's coming. That's crazy. But I'm going to go ahead and just do a little bit of hose vacuuming for you, and then I'm just going to end the video. So I just wanted to show you at the end there how the hose actually snaps tight when you put your hand over it. But that's my direct drive, Panasonic made Kenmore. The thing is, it does not do shag carpet well, but I don't have any vacuum that does shag carpet well except the Kirby's and the Eurekas. So those are the only ones that do a good job on the shag. This one will actually smash the pile, and it's really hard to push, so I'm not even going to try it. But anyway, that's it. Thanks for watching, guys. Take care. Bye.